Hey guys, so my name is Humphreys, and today in this video, I want to talk about what to do when your child starts going to a different church. This can be actually a hot topic. I know I go to a church that we have a lot of young people, and most of those young people have come out of other churches. So parents tend to have a hard time. And so, what to do as a parent? What to do when your child is going to a different church? I just have a couple suggestions that I want to make today, and also I want to hear your thoughts. If some of you have other thoughts around this topic, let's talk about it. So the first thing for you to do when your child is going to a different church, you need to talk to them about it. Talk about it. Talk with your child about their decision, what's going on with them. And I'm using the word talk deliberately because sometimes people want to be dismissive, just want to come be judgy, just impose their opinion and everything else. But I want to encourage you, just have a conversation, just hear from them what they like about it, what's happening there. Go see their church, visit them, say, hey, what if I come with you? Go to their church, be a part of the worship gathering, see what's going on there, and then, observe it for yourself, because this is going to help you have a better perspective around what's happening with this church. You have to be willing to talk to their pastor, so talk to their pastor and have a conversation about, just hearing, his vision, his passion, the history of the church, what these guys are doing for outreach and, discipleship and growth and all of those things. Just understand it a bit better, because often we find that people make judgments about a church without really knowing of what's happening with the church. Like, are you really do you really understand? Do you really know what's going on, around this church? Or are you just making your own assumptions because you have heard some crazy stuff about this church? Give your own feedback without condemnation. It's okay for a parent to say, hey, I really loved these things about your church, and this is what inspired me. I see why you're there, because now you've been a part of the worship gathering, you've spoken to the pastor, and you have experienced it for yourself. So give your own feedback about what you think about the church, but do it without condemning them, without condemning the church, because your child has actually chosen this. Now, if you have any concerns about it, you can, again, talk about it without condemnation. You can, have a conversation around and see what your child is thinking, and stuff like that. Be willing to let God guide them. Be willing to let God guide them, because, you can find yourself in a space where you just want your child to just follow you for the sake of following you, or maybe there's some uncomfortability within you. Some of you, maybe it's shame, like maybe you're leading a church and your child is going somewhere else. Maybe you're a pastor and your child is going somewhere else, and that can be full of shame. Like, why should we listen to you when your child is going somewhere else? But you need to let God guide them, and that is going to help you to even answer the people that are doubting or saying, hey, why is your child going to that other church? And you could say, I'm letting God guide them. So I think you need to believe and trust God to guide your child. Pray for them. You need to understand why. Why do people go to church? And I think the main thing is growth. And I think you need to let your child go to a place where they will grow the most. And if they're growing where they've gone, I think it's a good idea to let them be there, because if you are fighting that growth, they can be a part of your church, but they will not be growing. Maybe they even stop going to church. So let them go to a place where they will grow, and if they are serving there, if they're spreading God's word, and they're getting engaged, they're growing, as a child, they're growing in God. This is the main reason why we are part of church, is for our own growth, and for the growth of others. So if your child is growing, let them be a part of another church. These are actually my suggestions for when your child decides to go to another church. Let me know what you guys think. So the next video is going to be about what to do when you want to go to a different church than the one your parents go to. So I'm going to look at this from a child's perspective. So tune in and don't forget to subscribe.